Hello there, and welcome to 10 Tips and Tricks for Expeditions in Two Point Museum. In this video, I'll try my best to give you as many things that will help you out in getting new exhibits, losing as few people as possible, get most out of your money, and get those pristine quality exhibits as fast as you can. So, let's jump right into it and let's talk about number one. I want to talk about the MIA tag. You know, that's the one that makes you lose staff. This one here. It comes up in several expeditions. It's usually counterable, so you can just rack up the skills that you require for that, and I highly recommend to do so under any circumstances. If it is avoidable, please do everything you can to avoid this, especially if you want to repeatedly run that expedition. You'd lose a random person of your roster every time you do so. If you need to do it, though, redshirt it. You know, that means just staff it out with people that you can afford to lose. Even hiring and firing is allowed. Sometimes you are ought for a quick push. That's all fine. Then just put people in that fulfill the minimum standards so you don't lose any of your valuable staff. This is by far the most dangerous tack that I've so far found in expeditions, and it should be always handled with care. All the other things you can pretty much wing and work with the fallout afterwards. This can be really annoying, and that's how I work with it. Number two, higher tier skills. Yeah, here we have already the best example for it. To counter this MIA I've been talking about in number one, you need a survival skill of tier 2. So that means somebody of your experts needs to have this trained doubly. In short, try to have a rank 2 of all manner of different skills. It pays off, because the game loves to toss these tier 2 random challenges into your face, and cross-skilling like that you should really think about before you do it, or do it on the third slot earliest, because the tier 2 challenges, it is so strong when you just randomly already fulfill them because you were just doing your thing and casually grinding up things. Tier 2 challenges usually also are, like you saw there before, the hallmark of biting your ankle if you're doing it unprepared, so try to avoid cross-classing too early. It is really something that will waste your time early on, and the Tier 2 challenges, to get them tackled as quick as possible, might take much longer than you want to. Number three, cross-branching pays off. So whatever museum you're playing in the campaign mode, that is, this doesn't apply so much for the sandbox players, you can always pick up any expedition from anywhere and put the exhibits from there into your museum where you are. If you are currently in the Spooky Museum, I could have used this entire wing for an archaeology exhibit. It would increase the buzz and would give you a lot of income. So if you are struggling with income and you feel like you don't get one foot in front of the other in terms of progression, consider cross-branching in one of the other expedition paths. Just hire a couple of experts, nail down the logistics, get yourself a secondary museum for secondary income. It is something I overlooked for way too long, until I had a moment where I understood that these are not mutually exclusive to one another, so make the best out of it. Number four, XP boosts. You see, all of these regions have staff XP boosters. These can come in super handy if you need to speed level people. They're also fairly costly, so they're not really something I would recommend somebody for the very early stages of the game. But if you just build yourself a little bit into a wall skill-wise, just like I did there probably, well, this is one way how you can counter it. It also can come in handy if you just need a quick fix for a certain person in your team. That's just something I felt like is a good tool for the longer periods of time when you just need to speed level somebody. So number five, all employee types have expedition skills. This is something that really is quite important to take notice of and take advantage of. So when you check out all of these different guys, so we have pilot wings on the assistants. We have here in the on the janitors also pilot wings. Happy thoughts can also come in handy. In short, you don't only run expeditions with experts, you have to apply all the things that I've mentioned before, or all of those jobs. So in the long run, you'll have certain people that are good for the expeditions, and certain people that are good for your business. So, which brings me right to number 6. Don't have your business run on your expedition experts. It is really handy to get your expedition experts out of the regular routines of your museum. So when you have somebody who's supposed to do a lot of expeditions, you can here in this job assignment tab get them out of the tours, for example. So this way, Mr. Moore is always ready for an expedition and is never stuck in a tour. Tours take extremely long, and if you just exclude tours from your adventurers and don't do much more assignment, I feel like you already have 80% of the problems resolved. The rest is micromanagement, which I'll leave to the dear viewer. Number 7, respect the seasons or outright use them. So, expeditions have very different influences during different seasons. For example, here we have something that only happens during certain seasons. Sometimes you also have just no problem with the seasons, and I just recommend to keep always an eye out and don't derp these out of automatics. Some of these expeditions I did grind a lot, and I had to pay close attention one time or another. Of course, the many hours that I've played this game, that I didn't accidentally send people to their certain death because I didn't pay attention to nightmare season. Just side note, it happened to me, and the game is trying to lull you into this many grinds and overlook a little problem there. So keep an eye out for it. Number 8, focus on the important threats and don't over-prep yourself. The thing is, you can disable pretty much all of the negative encounters. Most of them. The seasonals, for example, are prime examples of uncounterable things. But apart from that, you can here do just a lot of preparations. But for example, here were those injuries. At the point where you run this expedition, this is a fairly costly one. And chances are you are not going to run this again and again and again. So it wouldn't pay off to wait until you have personnel to counter all of these things. By all means, it would be hard enough to do so on 3 people alone. But yeah, on 2 people alone. But on these situations, this is a good example for just cancel out the MIA and run it anyway, and you're okay with that. Just put the people into the recovery room after they are injured, and you're golden. On the other hand, there's lots of things like these curses and illnesses where you can prefabricate items for. I personally am not sure if I'm overlooking something, but the illness elixirs cost 7,500, and curing somebody from an illness, the expedition is cheaper than that. I don't know if I'm overlooking something in the system, but my personal experience was here it's 5 grand versus 4.5 grand. Yeah, the curse counter is a little bit cheaper, but it's filling my inventory slot for the expedition. I'm not a fan of these. Tell me in the comment section if I'm missing a vital point about these. I'd be all ears. Personally felt like taking the impact and clearing it out afterwards was, for me personally, much easier than trying to avoid all of these. Number 9. Each region has preferred skills. So I realized that the longer I went on these adventures that, for example, space has a lot of expeditionary threats that revolve around pilot wings, and the other areas prefer other skills. So in short, it doesn't pay off to try to have the museum that features it all and everything, unless you want to have a super big sandbox project, which I totally admire if you do so. But for the campaign mode, I personally think going for the primary goal, campaign-wise, for example, spooky exhibits here, any side branching is paying off, but trying to do everything at once, it ends up being a huge project, and in the campaign mode, well, you gotta have the stomach for that, I think. Now, and last for today on my list, number 10, Survey scanners are so worth it. I did talk a little bit bad about the other items before, but the survey scanners, on the other hand, are really, really good for what they cost. It's a cheap 2,500, and they push the survey level up to a 50% each usage. To give you an example why that's so good, I did grind out this area here recently, and no, it was this one. 5% per run. 20 runs to get one survey level up. Or 2 runs with survey scanner. It's quite the difference. Also, if you want to increase the survey level on your expeditions, there is another trick that you can use besides the survey scanners. While we're at it, you can decide to go for a detailed expedition. It doesn't increase the cost, it just increases the amount of days that it takes, and the survey level goes up by another 10%. Combined with a survey scanner, you get those pristine exhibits much faster this way. The downside is you have to stomach the side effects there that you can't, because you only have this, you will fill your cargo slot with that item. But I personally think it pays off massively. So there you have it, 10 things that should help your expeditions. One last little side note, you can build several helipads for several expeditions. Use it. It's just a little bit of a side note. So obvious, but I wanted to point it out. Now, thanks for watching. Drop me your comments. I surely think there's much more to say than only 10 things for expedition progress, so let me know what you say. And yeah, feel free to leave a like, leave a subscribe, and consider checking out the ways and means to support the channel if you feel like it. I would be very, very grateful if you do so. And at the end of the day, I want to say thanks for all of the supporters, and thanks for taking the time for watching my video up until the very end. Deeply appreciate that, and I hope you have a great day. And I know that my guides are somehow lost while I was loading this, so if this did bug you, so it did me while recording this, and I'm going to fix this. See you there, have a great day, and thanks for watching.